We are the Force. We are MC.
Hey YouTubers, and welcome back here, baseball fans, for more Kansas City Royals franchise here on MLB 15 The Show. This is episode 49 as we're getting ready for the off-season. Yes, the Royals won the World Series, the 2014 World Series here, and they are celebrating like it's 1985 all over again. So, it's been 30 years since the Royals won the World Series, and they win this one against the Braves with a final score of 5-2 and take a sweep here in the World Series as Ventura there 2-0 for the postseason picks up his World Series victory there, his first victory there for that young guy, the rookie there, for his career. So that's something he can be talking about for years to come. Now as the Royals get ready for get done with partying, now it's time to take care of some business here as we have some issues that we need to work on when it comes to the putting together another ball club to possibly repeat for next year. So, Royals, there you see the numbers they got for the off-season. There's some players that we're in the midst of trying to possibly, and I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but get rid of, that we don't really have, they don't have really stake into this ball club anymore, because it was not much of a factor when it comes down to when they were playing in the postseason. That one being Aoki, one of the players that we're looking at possibly move. Now we do want to re-sign him and kind of use him as trade bait, maybe possibly for some prospects or something like that coming up in the in the off season and whatnot. Another player too, of course, Billy Butler, who actually did leave after the season. Actually, both guys I'm not mentioning that I mentioned now have left in real life after that World Series run there when the first time they went to the World Series against the Giants. Of course, Aoki went to the Giants. Billy Butler went on to the A's. So in some ways, I want to kind of keep it close to what's going on in real life, but at the same time, to be quite honest, if they were not an X factor, they wasn't something that really got my attention during the playoffs. Both in all rounds, all three rounds. The divisional, championship series, or even in the World Series, then you're pretty much going to get 86th. Or possibility, if you have a year left on your contract, I'm going to try to move you and try to use the value that I have for you right now, and try to see if I can find something to help improve the team, both not just with the big team, but also with the farm team. So that's something we're going to be looking at and try to do here in this off season. But right now, you take a look here. You guys, of course, look at the pitchers' numbers in there. Of course, we didn't have to worry about re-signing any of the coaches. Ned Yosh is going to be on the team here. Take a look at some of the retirements here. You guys can take a look at this. For the most part, there's just two Royals players that really were not really a big factor for us. A couple of the guys were on the team for quite a few years there, and just are going to call it quits. But for the most part, we pretty much have a lot of guys intact when it comes to signing. Looking at some of the numbers there, a lot of numbers there I've been kind of messing around with actually favor us to keep really a lot of guys intact. Now, one of the big issues is who is going to be our number one guy. Will Vargas actually step up this year during the off season and be the number one guy? Or do we need to go out there and find us a number one guy through free agency? Because by the looks of it, we're going to try. But by the looks of it, our number one guy being Big Game James Shields, he may be wanting to go somewhere else for not just just a different place, a venue, but most importantly, just the cash. I mean, remember, it is a business. It is a game, but it is also a business. and he's looking to see what place can offer him the best cash when it comes down to it. And of course, we won the World Series, and I'm not saying that if he goes somewhere else, he's not going to have a successful career. Wish him all the best, but I can say I'm as a GM, I'm pretty good at this stuff, putting together a team, and he will have to see what we can do here. And of course, he will be asking for quite a bit of money, so we'll have to try to see if we can negotiate with him. Don't want to sign him to a long-term deal. It's no more than I think 3 years will be the max. I believe he is somewhere around 32, 33 years of age. So, in baseball years, he's quite old. He's in his prime right now of his career, or I should say, the tail end of his prime of his career. But yeah, he's getting, he's up in age now. We want to try to sign him to a, anywhere from a 2 to 3 year deal. Try to get him the most amount of money as we can for the least amount of time that we will need him. Because, like I said, we are going to be working on our farm team. That is something we're going to be looking to be doing quite often and quite a bit there. I can't believe Dontel Wills was still playing in the league there when I just kind of glanced at that. But there you see the inductees for the 2014 Hall of Fame, which I don't know why they do that, but of course, Ichiro in that mix there with Steve Finley and Bobby Abreu. But there you see the schedule there of some of the things we got the first 5 days after the World Series, what we need to do. And we're going to try to attempt those here in this video. But going back to what I was saying about Shields, we're going to try to see if we can sign him to a 2 or 3 year deal. Ventura, he resigns with us. There you see another player. A lot of these guys you see here that I'm not really mentioning are just some of the minor league guys who are getting just the minimum of the league when it comes to league minimums and stuff like that, guys, especially in the farm system. There you see Aaron Brooks, a guy that we are really, really hoping to bring up, along with, of course, him and Bubba Sterling and Kyle Zimmer. 3 guys that we're going to try to really work with this year and try to bring them up, especially Brooks, as he had that really great game there. I can't remember. It's actually an episode that he played against Detroit. He pitched a very, very lights out game there, and that's a guy that we're going to try to see if we can bring him up. He could possibly be a day 4 or 5 guy there. But there you see Johnny Cueto, of course, in real life. Royals wanted to sign, picked him up in a trade, and they got him part of that ball club who won the World Series in 2015. We're trying to see if we can do the same thing, but this time we're going to pick him up as a free agent. Justin Masterson, another guy who's asking for quite a bit of money there, no longer an Indian now, out there in the wind. Try to see if we can bring him to KC, as he's 29 years of age, so he's still got to see, he's in his prime. We can see what we can do with him, have him part of this ball club there. So Cueto and Masterson are 2 guys that we're looking at, and that's just that's just if we can't work with Shields, as we've given Shields some some idea of what we're willing to pay him, and we'll just have to see where that goes from there. So to take a look at here at some of the other players there, when it comes to free agency there's some pretty decent names there. Kurt Hazuki, Dolman, who had pretty decent World Series against us there for Atlanta. Of course, there you see Hosmer. We offer him arbitration. For right now, he can't really sign with a team because he's still within that 6 years of his career and whatnot. So we're going to have him go through arbitration to get at least a fair deal for both sides to sign to the ball club. And of course, Hosmer, a big part of the World Series. Of course, he is a World Series MVP and the playoff MVP. Adam Lynn's another guy that we're looking at, a former Milwaukee Brewer now, looking for a team. Ben Zobrist, again, like I said, trying to keep it close to what's going on in real life. Of course, Zubris in real life didn't re-sign with the Royals. He was actually part of a trade with the A's. But we're going to try to see if we can bring him on board on the team for this 2015 campaign. Hunter Pence, another guy right there, 31 years of age, and we'll see what he's had on his mind as he's a former Giant. Another former Giant there, Michael Moore. There you see here him. Sign him. Now this is he could be our situation here when it comes to right field. But quick look there, you see Jimmy Rollins there. He accepts the deal with Philly. Jimmy Rollins was actually a player that we were going after. I kind of, I know, he's 34, 35 years of age. But I was, just kind of something that, try to help him out, get a ring or something. Because Jimmy Rollins is kind of one of those guys that I have full respect for and enjoy watching him play there in the shorts, in the middle infield there. So try to see if we can get him, but of course he was a little too expensive, and pretty much I think he just wants to end his career there in Philly. So we'll take a look here. These are some of the offers that we've made so far, and so far Kansas City is the best offer so far on the table for a lot of these guys here. Hunter Pence, there you see him, and then you see Michael Moore, former Giant players. Hopefully we can get one of them, because one of them could play out to right field. Because like I said, Aoki, for the right now, he's not a part of the team. But there you see James Shields has decided to decline our qualified offer. He's going to remain as a free agent, but we can still negotiate with him. So that's what we're going to do. And then you see Bruce Chin. He accepted our qualified offer there. So Chin is back with us. Chin, as I think about it too, will possibly be a piece that we could possibly use as a part of a trade also too. Was looking at some of the teams that was wanting him, and they were giving away some decent prospects there that we can use. They wouldn't necessarily be coming up to the major leagues, within that year or 2 years, but within 3 or 4 years, they would be great guys that we can put up part of the team, and that's something we're looking at also. Nick Marquez is another guy, 31 years of age. We're looking at a lot of guys I've noticed here around their late 20s into their early 30s, and that to me that's a good time to get those players. They're nicely seasoned as a baseball player, and they know they've been in a lot of experiences. They've had they've been in the league for a while now, so they know what they're doing. But there you see Billy Budd is now going to go to Boston. Greg Holland, he's re-signed with us. Ben Zobrist, yes, nice. We got Ben here now, so he's very in our midfield. But unfortunately, we lost James Shields. And of course, that's like I said, if we're going to lose Shields, then we got to back up. But Shields is going to get $90 million for 6 years. Wow, that's a lot of cash right there from the Cleveland team. But Johnny Cueto, he's going to be with us. He's going to get $28 million over 2 years. So he's going to be possibly, by the looks of it, he's going to be our number one starter. Another name we were going around and looking at, Nelson Cruz and Max Scherzer was another name that was out there. Just see, hey, we're offering you this. Would you want to take it? And of course, no, they didn't take it. Adam Lynn accepted our deal with us, so he's going to be part of our ball club now. He can fit the role as our DH guy. He's going to fit where Billy Butler was at when he was our DH. Also, Lynn can play also first, and I believe he can play outfield, so that's very helpful for us. And that's something I like to do. Michael Moore, he also signed with us. Brandon Morrow, again, another one of those players that we're kind of just looking at and possibly picking up. But going back to about Lynn, that's something I love to doing, is finding guys that can play those multiple positions, guys that can play not more than just one position in the infield, more than just out in the outfield, guys that you can move around, shuffle around on the field, that is pretty well balanced in not just their prime position but other positions on the field. So having Lynn there, I mean, not the greatest player in the world, not like the best player in the world, but he is definitely a guy that one of those good utility guys that you can use if you need a guy. If you need to give one of your outfielders a day off or your infielder a day off or something like that, he's one of those good guys that I can plug in. Who necessarily, like I said, for the time being, he could be our DH, but again, he could be playing. He could possibly play outfield. He could play out and right. As Moore could possibly, now since we have him, he could be our DH. So it'd be something that we could be looking around here, and that's what I said. Looking around, seeing what we can work with. Actually, it's pretty funny. I don't have it on here on the screen. I wish I did, but I have actually a spreadsheet that shows just possibilities of different lineups that we could have for next season, and a lot of the lineups I'm looking at, because I already know who's on the team already, shapes out pretty well. This is actually a trade here that that was being presented to us, and like I said, Jimmy Rollins, 36 years of age. I actually thought he was a little younger than that. We're offering us this, and it took me a while. I'm thinking, okay, do I want to give up this guy? He's a young guy. Look at some of his numbers here. Do I want to give away a prospect for an older guy like this? And now, hindsight's 2020. Kind of should have made that trade there, because I think it probably would have helped us out. As Escobar, as you see, if you guys remember, Escobar wasn't playing too well during the playoffs there, and actually even before that, the last month of the regular season there, he was kind of in and out. So making that trade, and like I said, this is still a possible trade here we can do sometime here, before the season starts. It might be a possibility to do a trade with Philly for a young prospect, for an older guy who's, like I said, seasoned as a infielder. Now this is another trade here, and this is one of my things I'm real stickler about. You don't ever trade within the division, because that will come back and bite you in the ass tenfold. That's just my thing. So I don't know how other guys play it, but I just don't do that, because in the past I've done that and it really bit me in the butt really hard. Especially a guy that you don't feel like you have a connection with on the game, and you just ship him off, and you're like, okay, whatever, they'll use him probably as a pitch hit situation or a pitch run situation, and it won't really affect me. Well, that happened to me too many times, and I've learned my lesson. So even though this is a young guy, he's 26 years of age, his potential is C, he's 80 overall, and then you see his numbers, that's what really kind of alarmed me. I decided not to do that trade. So Aoki's still with the team. Dyson, he went to arbitration. They sided with him, so he'll get that amount for his service here for this upcoming 2015 season. But yeah, just for me personally, I think you should never trade within a division. Trade outside of the division. Try to move that guy as far as possible. Maybe in the NL Central, maybe trade him there with maybe Cardinals or something like that. But never do it within the division. But there you see more updates here with the guys going to arbitration and settling some things there with them, having a 50-50 or win-win situation for both sides. And of course, Aoki returning back to the team. Lorenzo Cain, another guy that we want to sign to a long-term deal here, and that's something we're going to try to look into next season. So, with the postseason or the off-season done with and everything, this is what the team looks like when it comes to pitching and then the bullpen. There you see the Brendan Shipley and Eddie Butler. Those are two guys I'm really, really looking excited seeing. I've actually seen them during spring training look excellent, and they're ready to go. They're Rule 5 guys, so we have to put them on our 40-man roster or 25-man or 40-man roster, and also our 25-man roster. They are ready to go for the looks like for for a career here in the major leagues. Right now, you're taking a look at a lot of the notifications there of some. I'm not going to get into all of them. There's some pretty big trades and signings and stuff like that for different teams and stuff like that. Of course, you've seen Shields there signing with the Indians. I believe the Red Sox had Billy Butler. They show Nelson Cruz is going to the Mets. So there's got a lot of shifting around within the Major League Baseball, and just some teams that you're kind of scratching your head like, oh, okay, they're going to try to push. They're going to try to make a move here. It looks like they look pretty confident and whatnot. So we'll see how that all fares here as the season progresses here. But there you see some of the Dodgers. Of course, Dodgers have the biggest, pocketbook right now in the game, and they can do pretty much a lot of things there. But it really, truly doesn't take much, to win a World Series. I mean, it takes a lot for a World Series, but you just gotta have those right guys. Money is not everything, and it's been proven that many times over. Of course, with the Royals in real life, and then other ball clubs who are considered small market teams have won the big one. Went to the World Series and won it. So, but there you see some more names there that are being traded or being guys are been signed and whatnot. So, not a really big, crazy off season with re-signs and whatnot, but nonetheless, some pretty good teams. I think next year is going to be really interesting for a lot of squads here in Major League Baseball. You see Michael Kadire, which was another name that I was looking at possibly bringing to Kansas City. He's really familiar with the American League Central, as he's been a longtime Twin and has faced the Royals several times. And then you see some other names there. Chris Young, another one of those young pitchers right now who are just amazing to watch. But there you see again some more trades here as we move along here. But we'll take a look here and see that yes, we're in spring trading and we're going to get ready for the spring trading. I'm actually going to play a couple of games and then go ahead and sim the rest and get to opening day so we can have that series, second season of the Royals franchise up here on the channel here very soon. So, like I said, if I didn't cover anything here in this video, I apologize. I'm sorry. There was just some things I wanted to cover and talk about and whatnot for next season. But like I said, Johnny Cueto in the hunt there. He's going to be our number one day one starter. But I'm being told that the Royals, still going to be looking around. See, there's still some other free agents out there that they're looking at and possibly talking to some other teams about trades. Like I said, we could make that trade with Philly with that young prospect there if they're still willing to deal with us. But for the time being right now, Royals right now, I think they feel like they have a really good ball club that they can work with for next year and try to make another run for the World Series. So that's it from me, you guys, here on MLB 15, the show. Kansas City Royals franchises, episode 49. That is it, and we're going to sign off here. But overall, just a great offseason for us. I feel confident and can't wait for the new season to begin. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Royals franchise. If you have not subscribed, definitely check out the series, you guys. There's a link there for the entire first season. Go back and watch those games. Plus, there's a video of the postseason, mainly for the World Series. There's full extended versions of the game where you can watch the game from the beginning to the end, raw game footage of it. So definitely check that out and see how the Royals won the 2014 World Series. So that is it for me. As always, keep yourselves healthy, and I will see you guys next time for more Kansas City Royals franchise here on ESGNet on MLB 15, the show. See you guys next time.